Muzzy says Celtic's third team cruised that game, and I know he's been a bit mischievous, but Celtic today without Tierney, McGregor, Jota, Alistair Johnson, Carter Vickers, Engels, didn't have a striker, and yet Rangers still couldn't beat them.
Yeah, I think, I don't know about you boys, but when you saw that team sheet come out, and that was the first shock of the day, that obviously Cal McGregor and Kieran Tierney both out, and you do look at it and wonder, if Rangers can't beat Celtic when Celtic have been reduced to this kind of state, what does it say about Danny Rohl and his chances now in the longer term? I think there's a danger for Danny Rohl that unless he recovers really quickly in the league, Andy, I think he's going to feel a bit of heat. I mean, a real bit of heat.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way, I mean, there's a real potential that Rangers maybe finish third this season, finish with a trophy, maybe even fourth, depending on what happens with Motherwell. I know obviously they lost yesterday, but that was a sort of, prospect that get Russell Martin sacked.
Yeah.
So now we're now headed to kind of place where Danny Rohl, if he can't really improve upon what Russell Martin probably would have got taken Rangers to anyway, does he deserve the same treatment? Now, I'm not saying that is the case now, but I think that is going to be the question mark he has to answer over the next few weeks. He's just been in the press conference there. I don't know if I've sent the footage in, but he did speak about, he sort of stood up for his team in terms of question marks over their mentality. But he talked about, we out-created Celtic 24-1 or whatever it was today. Well, so that's fine, but the name of the game is putting the ball in the back of the net, and they didn't do it, and they had a huge amount of opportunities to do it, but it was the quality that let them down, quality and composure. Yeah. I didn't think they went sort of the full throttle way that they went last week. They sort of picked and chose their moments when to apply pressure, but when they had chances, they crumble, and that has been the criticism of this team for weeks now. They did so well to get themselves back into a position to be within striking distance of Hearts and Celtic, but when that's fine. It's fine to do that when you're out of the title race, but they're now into the title race, and then that's when the real strain and pressure comes back on, and that's when this team its nerve folds. So unless he can find a way to somehow rescue a pretty perilous position right now, I think he will have more scrutiny to face. I mean, it's now 3 wins out of the last 9 games. I mean, I think what we can say is that the honeymoon period for Danny Rohl is over, and now he's get some proper work to be getting on with, because if he doesn't, then I think you'll see him going into the season up facing the same kind of scrutiny that Russell Martin got at the beginning of the year.
And Mick, from a Celtic point of view, I mean, a few weeks ago, we looked at the run of fixtures they had, the 2 away to Rangers, 1 away to Stuttgart, 1 away to Aberdeen. Some fans, I mean, I'll admit, I kind of thought there was a chance they could lose 3, maybe even 4 of those games to come out of it, Mick, with 3 wins and a draw. It's pretty impressive.
Listen, we spoke on this show saying this period was potentially the end of Celtic season in terms of the league title race, European hopes, and Scottish Cup. They could literally be heading into Glasgow tonight for the end of the season party. Instead, they've come through 4 away games with 3 wins and a draw. Obviously, they're out of Europe. However, they're now at the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. Probably favourites to win the Scottish Cup, you've got to say. Although I don't think it's a given. And still in the hunt for the league, albeit up against it. It's remarkable, really, when you think about how poor this Celtic team is and how many players are missing. I mean, Neil knows it. I mean, he's working with limited resources. He's managed today. I mean, listen, it wasn't a vintage Celtic performance by any stretch of imagination. But what it was a really determined defensive display. And actually, there's something to admire about it. And I thought Austin Trusty...
Some heroic performers in the Celtic backline, Matt.
I thought Austin Trusty was immense. I thought Benjamin Arthur alongside him was very good as well. Till he tired. I thought Dave Murray came on. I mean, fair play to the kid. I mean, last week, Rickett here last week, but recovered from it during the game. I thought he was outstanding from the bench. Outstanding.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
Skills at left back. And again, I mean, really, it's back to the wall stuff, and it wasn't pretty, but it was determined, it was brave, and you're talking about things like Bottle. That is pure Bottle and determination. The goalkeeper as well. I mean, Sinna Salos came in. By the way, some difference with a goalkeeper come and take cross balls.
Yeah,
I was going to say that, Mick. I know he didn't do anything spectacular, but
he didn't have to.
He felt safe.
He was coming taking cross balls. He was coming punching. He was commanding 6-yard box. He came off his line a few times for balls over the top. to win. I mean, one that was Oxlade Chamberlain, I think, sold him short, and the ball got played through the top, and he raced out and he kind of blocked it. And you think it's a big difference having a goalie that can do that. There's no disrespect to Kasper Schmeichel, which is a different kind of keeper, but it did help Celtic, and it created a bit of calm, and it meant they could withstand periods of pressure. Listen, you've got to say Rangers didn't do enough with the ball in the final third to create that, to do him that pressure. And the goalie's not
They
really.
had all the ball and they had no quality, Mick. They had all the ball, they had no quality. And it's almost like with the two up top, it's almost like a human battering ram approach in these games against Celtic. But if you don't have the subtlety, if you can't cut people open, I just thought they were blunt through. They never actually looked like scum, despite having all the ball and absolutely bombarding Celtic. I mean, there were parts where they were pummeling Celtic for long spells, but they never looked like having the quality in the final third. Again, I'm going to bring up two players, Skov Olsen, Andy, who was supposed to be brought to the club to be a difference maker. There's nothing there. And then Mick, I don't know if we'll ever see Joel Mavuka again in a Celtic shirt. That was, I mean, we didn't. The bar was set low, but oh dearie me.
And by the way, Chavan Chara as well.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't want too disparaging the black lad, right? But you would think Mavuka won a raffle ticket. I mean, I'm not being funny, right? He must have had about 12 touches of the ball, and I don't think any of them were clean at any point in time. It was actually, I mean, listen, you've got to get a guy a chance to up to speed, and he's a little bit rusty. But oh dear. I mean, that's like, he looked like the guy like, I've got lifting a body at fives. I'll bring a mate from my work to the 5 sides. The boy's not seen a football before. I mean, unbelievably. I mean, if it was Celtic, that's I've seen them practically one or two men down at times this game.
As for Skov Olsen, I wrote a piece this week saying, listen, Rangers got a big decision to make whether to push the button on this £8 million deal at the end of the season. I don't think there's a decision to be made right now. I don't think it looks like £8 million would be wasted, frankly. So, I mean, and I think for him, I mean, I asked the question of Peter Lovenkrands this week when I was speaking to him, is this a long-term decline? Is this him, his career now starting to nosedive a wee bit? And he shrugged it off. But you're now looking, this has been the best part of over a year that his performance levels have been certainly on the wane. So he's shown no sign that of any real spark. So I think from Rangers' point of view, I think that's a deal that they might just be quietly just sticking in a drawer somewhere and hoping it goes away.